German government is again selling more Bitcoin. They transferred 832 Bitcoin. So total 52 million 35 minutes ago, and then another 282. So they're still transferring to Bitstamp, Coinbase, and Kraken. And they still hold 2.74 billion. At least their sells are pretty small now, right? They're not selling like 10,000 Bitcoin at a time. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. If you really need the money and you're German government, right? You could just sell like 5,000 at a time, 10,000 at a time, right? You could sell a significant amount if you just didn't care about dumping the price and just collecting all that money real quick. But now they're doing these small little sells. To sell $3 billion worth by selling like 20 million or 50 million at a time is going to take forever. So there's something weird going on here, right? Again, no idea why the German government is not going to Coinbase saying, hey, I just want to do an OTC sell. Help me find a buyer to buy 5,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin, and they will do so immediately. It's what they do. So to send little amounts like this still makes no sense whatsoever to me. Like, first of all, it's going to take forever to dump the $3 billion like this. And second of all, they could do it much better without affecting the price. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going on, who's controlling their Bitcoin over there. But, they've gotten so much press. You figure by now they would have learned something, right? I still don't know. But that is still going on right now. But the good thing is, despite the selling from German government, a relief rally may be at the beginning. Why is that, right? Well, the seller exhaustion is increasing, right? Meaning the selling is decreasing. Here's one that's looking at stablecoin top 10 outflow mean. And you can see at certain periods of time when stablecoins are leaving the market, that's usually a bad thing, okay? And that's why you could see we had some very big outflows, but right now we're not there. But also, if you look at the ETF inflow, that's where it's really interesting, right? You would figure that we had a lot of outflow recently. Well, ever since last week, and let me remove my camera. Ever since last week, inflow has been coming. In fact, yesterday, we had over 130 million inflow. So obviously, there are some on Wall Street that are loading up right now. They know that, hey, the exhaustion is here. There's a lot of signals that I've been showing you guys that indicate Bitcoin is going to flip back up. And that's why there are a lot of institutions and traders and just Wall Street guys in general, that are loading up, right? So you could see recently, we had 7 consecutive outflow days, and now we've had 5 inflow. Even though they're small but significant, it still does show a turnaround, right? So that, I don't know why that came up. So that is pretty significant. So that is really, really good. In fact, so good, if you look at the day, the week, the month inflow numbers, they're all still positive, first of all. They're all still positive. Even if you look at the month, right? So that's a surprising thing, because if you go back to this chart, you'll see that prior to the 5 days, you'll see that we had a lot of red, right? But when you average it out with the month, with the green, it's still positive. So it goes to show you that, again, when in doubt, zoom out. Sometimes when you're so focused day to day, week to week, you don't see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, for the last month, almost 800 Bitcoin went into the ETFs. And for the year, we have almost 15,000 Bitcoin going in. If you want to comment on anything I've said in this video, make sure you head over to the Roundtable. The Roundtable is a new social media platform created for conversations. And best of all, it's spam-free, bot-free, unlike here on YouTube. And you could have conversations with me And others like Altcoin Daily, Scott Melker, Mauro Nafal, and many others are joining daily. And you also get rewarded in tokens for doing so. So check out the new roundtable. Click the link in the description below. Now this is what I want to show you guys. This is interesting. So let me get this. Hold on. Let me get my sound ready. Let me play this for you guys.
Feet of clay, because I said Tom Lee's going to be absolutely right about the 5,500. Why is he still saying 150 for Bitcoin? Why do that? Why not just focus on stock? Don't stick your neck out, because it was falling below 60,000. Now it's back to almost 63,000. So that 6 trillion we just talked about, that sort of plays into your Bitcoin thesis.
That's right. Bitcoin's probably suffering from the Mt. Gox, starting distributions in July. That was a huge overhang for many years. But if I was invested in crypto knowing that one of the biggest overhangs is going to disappear in July, I think it's a reason to actually expect a pretty sharp rebound in the second half. So I think 150 is still within.
It's already July 1st, so so you're not taking that off the table. That's still a possibility.
That's right. And one thing to keep in mind, Bitcoin makes most of its gains with 10 days every year. If you take out the 10 best days in a single year, Bitcoin actually has negative returns.
Feet of clay.
Did you hear that? That's really interesting, okay? First of all, I do agree with him that 150,000 by the end of this year is still in play. I don't think it's out of play. I think it's still in play. But more importantly, he said something that I totally forgot. He has mentioned this before, Tom Lee, that most, if not all, Bitcoin's gains comes within 10 days, within a year, right? It's like 2 weeks of craziness. And we have seen that before. We have seen that many times in bull runs before, where there is a tremendous rise within a couple of weeks. Now, normally speaking, it's for like alts during altcoin season, but it also happens with Bitcoin. So what he's saying is, yeah, regardless of what's happening right now, at the end of this year, maybe November, December, we're going to see a crazy, maybe Christmas pump, a Santa rally, that will bring Bitcoin to new heights, right? Or maybe it doesn't work that way. Maybe we don't wait for those 10 days. But I do think he is right, and I agree with that. I think it's not out of reach, right? Once we break above 100,000, which I know we will, that's when the FOMO really kicks in, right? That's when those ETF inflows will be over $1 billion a day. And we will see some crazy, crazy movement after we break 6 figures. And it would not surprise me that we hit 125, 150,000 by the end of this year. Even though it seems far-fetched now, it always does. Just like when I talked about getting back to 70,000 when we were at 20,000, right? No one wanted to believe it, but we did, and we hit it way faster than people expected. Way faster, almost a year ahead, right? So don't give up hope. There are still so many good things happening in the space, despite Mt. Gox FUD, despite Germany selling, right? But we have so many good things that are still happening. The fundamentals and technicals of Bitcoin has never been better, okay? Look at this. Active addresses on the rise, 900,000 yesterday, a level not seen since April, which is great because April, Bitcoin was in the 70,000s, right? So we are seeing a rise, right? We're seeing capitulation of the miners too. And I just mentioned seller exhaustion, that's here. All great things.